Hello there, it's Saxon here, and we're running battle number 5, which is an attack in my Gates of Hell OSTFRONT campaign. Panzer Kampf Group Von Saltz is attacking with tanks and infantry against the Russians. I've cut out a lot of the time that I use to take different forces and do admin behind the scenes. As you can see, I have about a tank platoon and about an infantry platoon divided into the two drops, and I've cut a lot of that out. If you want to see that, then leave a comment in on the video in YouTube and let me know that you want to see it. And if you're happy not seeing it, also let me know, so that way I'll know if I'm on the right track. So this is the first objective, and I'm thinking I'm going to come along the left hand or the north wall here of the map, right up this way, and attack from the side. And I'm going to start moving here across the railway and move up the armour first. The armour is going to do most of the work on this assault. I've got 3 Panzer IV F2s and 1 Panzer IV short barrel for the HE, and I'll change that as we go, but it's not a bad mix at this point in the game. I think it's stronger than most of the stuff that the Russian AI player will have, so we should have a good battle here. I have 2 teams of infantry, 1 rifle section with the medic and engineer put into it, and the other one is the headquarters section, the HQ section. Yes, I pronounced my H's funny. I'm formerly a Brit, I'm now an American. I don't know if you knew that or not, but that's where my freakish accent comes from. And we're going to push along the north border of the map. We've encountered a little bit here of infantry in the outlying areas, which is normal, and I'm going to start moving the infantry up back behind the tanks so that they don't have too far to go. If I go straight up from here, I'll be running into the majority of the defences, which wouldn't be too bad, but it's easier to flank them. And here you can see me taking control of one of the tanks and switching to HE and taking down the cover for the infantry so that they're easier to shoot, easier to wheedle out of these buildings. You smash a corner, sometimes you get 2 walls rather than 1, which is why I did that. And that's the job of this short barrel Panzer IV here, is to do infantry support by firing mostly HE rounds and taking rid of the cover, getting rid of the cover, not taking rid. Can't speak today, I need more coffee, I haven't had enough caffeine. Maybe I should get some pop sponsors, some soda sponsors. Not sure what you think the right word is there, but I call it pop. Anyway, I've got the main infantry section over here in cover behind the building. I'm going to move them to the inside of the building where they've got cover so that if they get flanked by the AI, they're surrounded on all sides by concrete walls and brick. And this is the left hand. I'm a little worried about this road here. It could be a resupply point. I don't think it is. I think it's too close to my side of the map, the friendly side of the map. But the AI has definitely mixed it up quite a bit over the past 3 or 4 months in this game, so they'll come in from strange directions and they'll go around the map and surprise you. I've used to leave stuff out in the open back in what I would consider my rear area, but right now that's not a good idea because I've had stuff wiped out. Like bands of partisans, which I thought was very appropriate. In my rear area, fighting with the units that I wasn't paying attention to. So now I'm moving the whole battle group up. And here you can see we've done a good job of hammering the target, the first objective. I'm going to leave this tank here, number 3, on that side, put number 2 on this side of the building, move number 1 up, and I'm keeping number 4 behind the front line of my tanks. And we should be able to wait here just a little bit. There's a lot of points. Look at the top. The red points are what the enemy have, the Russians have, and they are currently winning, but they don't have enough points that I'm panicking and don't have enough time. So I'm probably going to hold right here for a little bit and waste their points by destroying their units. And they'll try and resupply this objective, and I'll just sit here holding it. Then I'll do the same thing when I take it. The AI seems to bring in reinforcements to retake it from me, and I'm going to go ahead and use up a lot of their points pool. I'm thinking they have a points pool. I don't know that for sure. The developers have mentioned it in Steam in the chat that there's a change in the pool points and resource points that the AI gets. So I'm assuming that's the way it works, but I could be wrong. I could be speaking through the side of my mouth here. Moving up, nice and slow. You can see the enemy are reinforcing down that road. So that is where I want to keep this tank number 3 on the road here to destroy anything that comes down there vehicle-wise. Then I'll move the left-hand side up here and take the objective. I haven't played battle number 6 yet, looking forward to it. I'm going to do that one, I think, as a team. I'm going to have one of my friends play with me, and I'll show you how I do that. And mostly I sit back and relax, and he does all the work. That's not quite true, but it's pretty close. I handle the support stuff, the mines and the engineers, and the command team, and he manages the fighting team. Usually tanks. This game is dominated by tanks. You can have a lot of fun with infantry, and I do. Many people don't like infantry, but I do like them. I have a passion for raiding the enemy dead for weapons, so that my infantry sections are really strong. And I'm moving up here. Very soon I'll start taking that. You can see right up there, that's where the enemy vehicles are coming in on the road. So this is an area I want to make sure that I dominate, and I don't let the enemy just drive down here willy-nilly and run right into the objective. So as these guys move up and take the objective, that tank on the right, number 3, is going to be the one that's keeping them safe and doing the most damage. And then I'll bring up my engineers and my infantry, and I'll dig in here. And then the next objective is to the right, around the bottom end of this lake. So I'm going to have to defend the top here. This road and the railway is going to be the high-speed avenue of approach from the bad guys, the Russians. And then I'm going to go ahead and push around the bottom end of the lake and go and take the second objective from the bottom end. And that should be pretty effective. It's easy as long as you don't get too advanced and start doing crazy shit and running guys and vehicles all over the place. But you will run into problems if you do that. If you stay organized and consolidate, you won't have any problems. This should go pretty simple. And I've got these guys here facing. I want to face the front armor of this tank towards the enemy threat, because as you know, the tanks have the strongest armor on the front or the bow of the tank, and weaker on the sides and weakest at the back. Moving the infantry in. They're running into cover right now, and best not to leave them out in the open. I'm picking the engineer, and I'm going to start digging a tank entrenchment emplacement, and then I'll roll the tank into there, and grab the engineer and put a sandbag wall in front there. and that'll act as an extra layer of defense against rounds that are incoming to the tank that's going to occupy the field. And there's the Lieutenant Udo Von Saltz. Von Saltz. In another campaign I'm running, it's like I have his brother. I have worked my way up to King Tigers or Tiger 2s in that game, and the Tiger platoon commander is Max Von Saltz. Maybe I'll make a short of Max Von Saltz and his Tiger 2 laying it down to the Russians. So this is in the consolidation phase right now. We're just kind of getting organized, getting defenses set in so that the infantry and a tank or two can defend this area. I like to put the infantry positions behind the tank positions so that the infantry can shoot any enemy infantry that's trying to swarm the tank. It doesn't always work out that way, but that kind of works well for me. It's something that I do all the time. And up here is going to be the main approach line for the bad guys, the Russians, and or the enemy, I should say, or passionless. Yeah, it's looking like it's at the right angle. I may put down some more sandbags there. We'll see. Depends how much armor that the AI throws at me. Sometimes I'll put 2 layers of sandbags in front of the tank position. Here I'm just looting a submachine gun for my medic, who doesn't have a good weapon right now. He's just got a pistol, a little Luger, and the enemy has snuck up on me. Across the there's going to be, there's anti-aircraft coming back there. That's what's going on. Then we go into first-person view mode. Try and find that anti-aircraft gun, and it'll highlight right here shortly, unless it's already dead. I think they must have got it. So this is a reinforcement wave, quite strong and healthy infantry and vehicles here. I didn't get that submachine gun for the medic. I kind of got distracted. There's another trench behind. So what I'll do is I'll put infantry in that front trench, and then I'll put the medics and the engineers in the rear trench. So the medics, if the infantry takes like a hand grenade or a mortar bomb, then I can rush the medic from the rear position to the center position to do his job. Otherwise, if he's in the same one as the infantry, that's okay, but it's not great. Because when they get targeted by a tank, by a HE round of any kind, or they get a lot of casualties, if the medic's already in the trench, he could be one of the casualties, so I place him in the rear trench. Just trying to keep my eye open here. I think stuff's coming from the other objective around the bottom end of that lake, and it's coming in from the right side. So I've got kind of 2 angles to worry about. Oh, definitely HE round somewhere. There's a mortar team out there somewhere. So I'm building sandbags down the right side of this tank emplacement now, because that will create a barrier between anything that comes from the right side, and then there's already one in place from the front. Moving the infantry now into the trench. It's a good thing. They survive longer in the trenches. And then I might pull some of them back with the medic into this rear trench when it's built. So right now we're looking pretty solid here. We're wasting points from the Russians, the AI player, and they're trying to retake this, and they're losing a lot of points by doing it. And finally got submachine gun for the medic. Captured from the Russians. They did that quite a bit during World War II. They would actually capture Soviet weapons and tanks and rebrand them and use them, keep them in a unit close to the front so that they can get plenty of ammo and resupply. It works out really well in this game. You can see why logistically in the game it works, because you can always pick up ammo off the dead. One thing this game doesn't do, unless you're in a reorg phase where you're buying we're using points to buy units again, you can hit resupply and it resupplies them. But the actual resupply on the ground, the little ammo trucks and ammo crates, they don't resupply them here. They will resupply German weapons, but not captured Russian weapons. So you have to capture them off the dead bodies. And there's usually plenty of those laying around. And I think they've got a mortar, so I'm going to push forward a little bit, see if I can see him. I think he's just across the railroad tracks, left of the lake. And the danger of pulling forward is you could run into an actual something. I just saw that little universal carrier sneaking up, destroyed. Against 3 Panzer IVs with long barrels, the F2. I think the short barrel is the F1. You know the difference between a long barrel and a short barrel. Early Panzer IV. Leave a comment for me, let me know. Short barreled is the F1. So up here is a mortar, MG, and a mortar up here. I think we've taken it out on the map there. You see the little chevron indicating support weapon. That's been taken out. White means neutral, red for enemy, blue for friendly, and as you will see in the next battle, green is going to be friendly, but another player. So before the next wave hits, I'm going to lay down some defenses here. So I've got to go on and send the engineer forward. And they're going to lay down some defenses, because eventually I'm going to cut off part of this force and go to the right or to the south. And I'm going to go ahead and take the other objective, but I need to make sure this is pretty sturdy before I do that. Put a little trench here because I think infantry are going to come from the right. Besides that, engineer looks forward. This engineer up here is a bit of a risk because he's up on the front line building sandbags, but if you can get in front of that Panzer IV right there, it'll be a good defense position for the Panzer IV. I've built it 3 wide, so the sides have got a bit of cover too if he turns. Because he may turn to the right. And I'm not sure why that guy got out. Apparently that vehicle needs repairs. He must have hit Shift R. And up here I'm going to have this guy and place a couple of sandbags this way. And that should get me into a good position to stop stuff from reaching this position back here. But back here I have infantry, I have medics, I have engineers. I've got the command team with the binoculars looking out the window. Udo Von Saltz. Wish I could say that in a German accent, but I don't have a German accent. Udo Von Saltz. Okay, well, enough of that. Let's not try that again. Not without beer. So I'm also thinking of opening up a channel with beer and food and wine. Let me know what you think about that. I do like to cook, and I make beer and wine. I make cider as well. If you think that would be interesting, then let me know. I'll open up a separate channel and let you know what it is. Right now, putting another sandbag in front of the left-hand tank, and the pace of reinforcements, literally as I just said this, they've reinforced it from the southeast, has got slower. So that's a good sign that they're running low on points. At least that's what I think is happening. So I've taken part of the command group and put them into this right-hand trench, but I've left the lieutenant with the binoculars in the building. And that's looking like a pretty solid defensive position back there for what's going to do for now. And pull the engineer all the way back to here. His job is pretty much done there. We've got a forward fighting position, or forward edge of the battle area. And then back here, we're going to go ahead and put a couple of tanks ready to maneuver around the right side of this lake. Now, why are they pointing to the right? I want him... See, when they stay pointing to the wrong direction, it means they've detected something over this way. I think we're going to go ahead and eliminate it with these two tanks right here. But I want him to keep pointing in that direction because of this wave right here that you see, the Russian infantry coming through the center. That's that reinforcement wave that I mentioned a few minutes ago. Something came from the right, so the tank started pointing to the right when I knew the AI was going to come straight up from this railroad tracks in the lake direction. And here we go, it's time to get rolling. I want this tank to point in the right direction. I'm manually taking control. So that's looking solid. And these two are going to go ahead down the right side of this lake, down the bottom end of the lake. And just have to clear this Russian soldier that was by the truck up here. And then we're going to push past the lake and then go left and then clear that other objective. And I've got plenty of time to do it, so I'll move them up kind of in parallel to each other. One moves, then the other moves. World War II, they didn't have a very good stabilization. They had the very fledgling portions of stabilization on some tanks. I think the Sherman had it on the American side and the Allied side. But they were very crude and they didn't work very well. So most tanks shoot better if they're stationary, unlike today's modern tanks that have really great stabilization. It doesn't matter if they're moving or not. In World War II, they shoot better when they're stationary, so I move one at a time. One covers and the other one moves. And I don't know why this tank is not shooting. The terrain must be bad. Oh, the vehicle was in the way. That's what was going on. You couldn't shoot them. That vehicle is leaning heavily to that Russian truck. It's leaning heavily to the left side. I think it's missing a wheel. That's just started happening in the updates where you can recover a broken wheel off a vehicle and fix it now. That's kind of cool. Lots of cool little updates keep coming out. The Russian infantry is up on the hill by the road in the sandbag position, so we're moving the tanks now to take a look at them and get line of sight on them so we can start reducing the amount of defenders. This is a good place to hold for a little bit and kind of wear down the numbers. So we're looking pretty stable right now. We're not in any dire straits anywhere. I've got one tank up here by itself. Don't know how I feel about that, but I think I'll leave him. There's another tank back here and plenty of infantry dug in. So that's looking reasonably strong. And I think the right side is going to attract all the reinforcement points now. Some will definitely come from the left side, but most will come from the right side right now. There's a machine gun up here, and they're going to go ahead and take this position. But they've got to get rid of that machine gun first. I think the angle that I'm at, I'm shooting uphill, or they're shooting uphill. And they're damaged, so they're not able to get there. I'm going to have to move that tank to get a better angle on the defenders in that machine gun nest. So it looks like, oh, there is, see, on the left side now there's an infantry section. I'm turning the bow to face the infantry because the bow gunner has an extra machine gun when facing infantry. You can see him using it there, and I'm controlling the turret with the main gun and the coaxial machine gun. And I think we successfully took care of that. I'll turn this one back to face this way. Face the sandbags. I've got the turret turned, but I haven't turned the body yet, just in case we get flanked. We tend to run down the right side, I've noticed in this one. So I'm going to leave this tank right here and go back to the other position where we're assaulting. Second position. There's a light tank up the road there, so I've got to be careful as I crest this hill. See that the ground on the left of the road is lower than the ground on the right. So I've got to be careful as I crest that hill. I'm going to walk right into that gun. So I'm going to try and pull them both up at the same time. So hopefully 2 shots versus 1, it's just math. It'll go in my advantage, I hope. Yeah, he can see me, so let's see if I can get a gunshot off onto that tank. No, I have to move him up a little bit. Oh, that was a spectacular shot. The AI did really well there. I'm going to place this guy on the road, facing down here while I think it's safe. And then I'll move the left-hand tank up to clear this position out. The ground there dips away to the left side into the lake, so I think I've cleared that. And move these 2 up. Capturing this point. Once I capture this point, it'll be game over. And it'll be another win for Udo Von Saltz and his Panzer Kampf group. That's German for Tank Fighting Group. Or Armoured Fighting Group, really. Panzer is armour. I think. Any of my German friends out there, correct me if I'm wrong. Had some German friends who gave me a flag from their unit, which was very cool. They're Panzer Grenadiers, and I have that in my office here. So the infantry is running down the bottom of the hill and I can't see them, so I'm going to have to come on down here and check this out. And I don't have any infantry with, so I'm just going to back up here a little bit. That guy is really legging it. He's going for a bit of cardio around the lake. I don't know why he's going past the objective to this one. Maybe he thinks it's safer over here, but we've got quite a stealthy defense. Nothing's attacking over here, so he's going to run into a bad day. I don't think that was the same guy. Maybe that was the same guy, but that looked awfully quick. No, either way, I've got guys. Yeah, see, there's the victory. I've captured the other side. I've captured this side. So now I go into a reorganization phase where I loot a bit of dead bodies and I repair vehicles and capture vehicles, and that's pretty much the end of the game. There's my 7.5 research points. I hope you enjoyed that. Look forward to number 6 coming out within the next week. Bye.